Okay, today we have Zoe with us. She's going to be co-teaching. So the two references that I'm going to be using to mash together are this one, and the artist and everything, all the information, like I said before, is over at awesomeartschool.com in this free classroom. I'm gonna do those two. I'm taking inspiration from this one. In terms of like line quality, I can just like tuck in your little fairy coat, Zozo, there you go. Like the line quality, so this is using like the side of a pencil. These are very purposeful marks using the tip of the point of your pencil. So, and then there's some blending here that could be accomplished with a blending step like this. So that's very, those kind of marks and the fact that it's on tone paper makes this a lot like lesson number 1. But I'm gonna be mashing it with this one first and then adding some fairy ears of my own. But I think it's important to do braids every now and again because I don't do them very often. So that's a great lesson. And then I just think we're gonna add a little bit of color. And just in case you haven't watched lesson 1 or have never worked on tone paper before, the results can be very stunning. This is in a frame, so I apologize. This is a recent lesson. Hint, you can get to this lesson through taking my really, really fun art quiz. I will leave a link to my quiz in the description box and in the comment section for you. Just so FYI, this is actually a lesson available. It's hosted on YouTube, but it's not a public video, but it's one of my favorites. And so I just want to show you, this whole project was done in a single pencil. That's it. And then a tiny bit of white for highlights. That's all. And a little tiny white gel pen. That's it, guys, literally. Oh, and I think I did use, I a little bit lied. I think I used the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen for the eyelashes because I pretty much use this, that's this right here, for every eyelash and every drawing. Yeah, and then a little bit of black. So we're gonna be using the same supplies in that lesson as we're gonna use them today, but it's gonna end up looking very different. So this is just literally like crappy craft paper. This is the same as a grocery bag, so you can use any tone paper. It doesn't have to even be brown, it could be pink or whatever, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna be starting with you can just use a regular school pencil if that's all you have. I'm gonna actually be working, oh crap. God, I did so much filming yesterday. I actually took away my pencil sharpener. I don't have anything. All right, this is all that I have, so this is what I'm gonna use. Normally I would use a black one. The black wings are a little bit softer. This is a little bit harder, so my line is not going to be as, it's not gonna be as dark or soft, but I think I'm gonna go over this anyways with maybe my Pentel, so it should be okay. So I'm gonna do a nice big black solid outline today. So again, I want to maintain this kind of edgy, like messy approach. If you want to be a little bit more tailored, you can keep in working with this. That's totally fine. So first we're gonna do an oval. I'm gonna just change my hand situation. So I'm gonna do an oval right in the middle. Sorry, I'm gonna press down harder so you can see better. So hard, like as I'm standing, my head actually, like hits my camera equipment. It's a little awkward. All right, so we have an oval, and you notice I'm drawing like a million times. Sometimes it takes a million, and I just leave them there. And then right away, I'm gonna put my guidelines in, okay? And I have a guidelines cheat sheet, which you may have for free. You can request it in the comments, or you can go pick it up in the free classroom with everything else. It's all there for you. So I'm gonna divide this in half. That's the eye line. And then I divide that in half again. And that's the nose line. And then I divide that again, and that's the mouth line. Okay, let's just go ahead and start shaping the face. Now, because I'm gonna be doing this edgier This is where I'm like switching references. And I'm gonna do, I love this, like, this very deliberate lines, like almost like giving them, keeping them straight. So rather than having a soft curve, I'm gonna edge her up. I like to work in this style if I'm kind of like moody about something. So my lines are abrupt and I'm using pressure, and it makes a much kind of edgier, severe look. I don't know what this is gonna look like. I may end up finishing it and freaking hating it and be like, why did I do that weird edgy look? I don't know, but every project is an opportunity to try new things. Now, normally I would actually normally use like my lovely ellipse template, and I would do 3 eyes in a row. But again, I like, her eyes are actually spaced too far apart. So I'm gonna be a little bit more blasé about my eye placement, and I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger too. I still want some space between them, but I'm gonna do some bigger eyes because this is gonna be a little bit different looking. Maybe I have Halloween on the brain. And I was just in Salem, Mass, buying Oracle deck after Oracle deck, so I'm feeling a little bit like dark and moody today. So right away, I'm gonna, again, copying Anna's style, making these kind of like abrupt and kind of angular eye shapes. So one on this side, and then again, I'm kind of like coming up and then straight, and then kind of doing, this is actually how I work when I do guide drawings. I keep my lines super angled. And usually with girls, everything is very curvy and soft. This one is a lot bigger than this one. I don't know, do I care? I don't know. Sometimes I care, sometimes I don't care. But maybe we just bring this down and then that becomes like a lash for later. As Bob Ross say, that would just be like a little happy accident. Okay, so kind of edgy and weird. I'm all about it. Now, I do like this one that she is staring straight forward, and I don't like this kind of like dead eye look. So what I will do to help me out is I will center these, but even this can be like kind of squarey. Like you don't have to, like I'm doing a weird series of straight lines. Why not? You know, let's make it weird. Halloween is a-coming. Okay, and just putting some little crooky C's. There literally is a letter C in each eyeball for her, what's it called? Pupils. And then let's just sketch in some messy, sketchy eyelids. It's so fun to try new things, right? So I hope you're branching out with me today. Everything doesn't always have to be so precious. Oh, so precious. Let's just be messy and weird. Why not? More weird is good. Okay, maybe we'll put little hooks on the end of our eyelashes. Who knows? Okay, let's do some nose action. So she's got such a cute little nose. So we'll start with something, you know, cute. Maybe we should start with like a triangle nose, and then build on. Maybe I'll just do like a straight line on either side. What the heck? Boop, boop, boop. And just kind of leave it like that. Why not? And then the mouth, I really love her mouth shape. So I'm going to start with a V on the top. And then down, and then I'm gonna fling back up. So this is a true mashup of these two mouth styles. That's very Anna's. I don't know how to pronounce her last. I don't know how to pronounce either of these two artists' last name. I think they're both Russian. They're brilliant artists. But again, I'm gonna keep this. Oh, I'm gonna actually just only draw the bottom, just like Anna. I think it's like Svavel. I used her as a reference once. I have a video on my other YouTube channel about like why copying helps you become a better artist. And I used one of her references, and she commented on my video and was like, I love it. And I almost fell out of my chair. I was so happy. So there you go. We have Anna's approval. So I'm going to come in a weird kind of angles on either side, just because I feel like it, in keeping with our weird theme. And see how messy My outlines are very messy and I'm not caring so much. Oh, I'm gonna come in. I do like this, like having a line right here kind of denotes like a little bit of a cheekbone situation. Just bring it in. All right, let's do some weird fairy ears while we're in our weird mode. So let's say between her eye and her nose can be kind of like the, I'm gonna come straight out for the lobe and then I'm just gonna come straight up. It's very Spock style. I'm just going rogue. Coming out and up. Now she's still gonna have all of her cool hair and everything, but we definitely need to have our, you know, our nod to the fair folk with our patented fairy ears. Okay, now let's move on to her hair. All right, again, I'm swapping references. Let's do her. So she has a middle part. So I'm gonna come down into the oval of the head. And we can actually draw 2 lines, 1, 2. Okay, and this, I already had this line kind of started. Again, I'm using squared off lines just to be weird and different because I'm bored of making perfect, being precious about every drawing. So I'm making these short, like quick, abrupt, weird lines instead because why not? Okay, messy, let's try it. Let's try something new. Make short, abrupt little pencil lines and see if we like it or not. And you might hate it, but then guess what? You learn something new about yourself that you didn't know before the start of this video, and that's always cool. Okay, so now we have the top. Now we have to have these braids on either side. So using this as my little guideline, excuse me, girlfriend, I'm gonna chop your face in half and use this as a reference. If you don't know how to draw something, you have to look at a picture. Do you never feel bad about looking at a picture using references? Like that's just how people's brains get ideas, and does not mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means you're human and we're, you know, doing something visual. I'm making our heads more squared off. Decided we gotta go all the way with this weird square theme. We're going all the way. All right, so ooh, we get to do weird square braids. Fun. I don't even know how to do regular braids. Let's go. Okay, so I'm just starting somewhere up by her ear and I'm gonna come down like that because that's what I see. And then there's another section. Okay, one and done. Now what do we do? Now we have another one here. Vonk and vonk. Okay, now we have 2 vonks. Do you know how to spell that? I don't. Now let's do another vonk under here. Zoomp. All right, look, we already have the start of a braid. I don't even know what happens here. We'll just leave it. Now we have another little vwomp here. And then it looks like we have just another one here. And I have a feeling we just keep going down the line. So we have like bubble thing and then another bubble thing. And I'm losing touch with my weird wonky straight lines. So this almost looks like hearts. So I can square off or go in back and square off any of these. And then I think I'm just gonna tie it off there because I'm literally running out of paper. And I'll just do like the end. Here's the end. Bye, bye. Look, it's like this is super straight and these are curvy. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun. Okay. And let's do this side. So I'm gonna flip over this. Where's my reference? Where are you? There you are. Okay. Poor girl's getting all sorts of weird folded. All right, same thing. I'm looking at my reference. It starts about here. We're gonna do the first womp out and in. All right, then what happens? I don't know what, I can't even see. It just dies into I don't know what, a shadow. And then there's another one quickly thereafter. And it looks like that is sort of whole. I don't know. This sort of comes down here. I can't really see even what's happening. And then this one quickly comes around the corner here. And then we start down a little bit and we do this little chunk here, and then somehow they just does that. And then we start another chunk here, and another, and another, and another. Just chunking, wonking our way down the page. Oh, look, they don't really match. This side's like bigger than that side. And whatever. But you know, that's also like what really happens, right? Braids are never really. And I'll have this one going this way with weird little curvy edges. Look at, she's cool. She's super cool. You never know. Sometimes you pleasantly surprise yourself by just trying stuff. All right, I do love a thin neck for sure. So it's thinner than normal, than natural. And then she has a body. Unbelievably, I know. And then shoulders. Shoulders, what? Shoulders. And then I do love her little necklace situation. Kind of goes down here, and then, you know, she's got some droppy thing. But look how cute she is. She's super cute. Okay, so now we get to start adding some shading. And I'm not even gonna erase my lines. I like how kind of sketchy and weird she is. So I'm going to, oh, she doesn't have any eyebrows. Let's remedy that. So coming up from the corner of her eyes, I like how Anna has like barely there eyebrows. Usually I do very dramatic ones, but I'm gonna try these not dramatic ones. It's like scribble scrabble, and then I just drag my pencil. Oh, I just gave her a very like timid facial expression all of a sudden, which was not intentional. And it is a great way to learn, just to try stuff, just to see what happens. Again, like sometimes you'll be very surprised and you'll end up really liking something. And then next time you'll be like, oh, I want to make a timid expression. You'll kind of know how to do it because you accidentally did it one time. All right, so I'm going to do some kind of these just scratchy scratch. Her hair should be actually going this way. Not this way, but up this way. I went in the wrong direction at first. Okay. So I'm just keeping it really weird and wonky just cause I feel like it. Yep, that's right. And sometimes that's all the reason you need. Now for her hair, I'm gonna just put in some strands like so. Just as a starting point. Okay, so strands here, and I'm gonna put the same things here. I'm just putting them in the same direction as the swamp edge, basically. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I think I'm taking inspiration from these lines, strokes that we see, and just seeing if this kind of makes sense. It's kind of fine. We can do that on this side. Notice I haven't sharpened my pencil. I haven't erased practically anything. Keeping all my weird marks exactly as they are. Am I having fun though? Mm-hmm. You betcha believe I am. I love these little hairs. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're gonna add just a little bit of shading, and then we're gonna outline, and then we'll do the pops of whites, and it's gonna come together super fast. So because I don't have my black wing, which is what I actually recommend, I don't know if this is gonna, if I'm gonna get as much shading as I want to out of this, but I'm gonna just try it. So I'm using the side of just a regular blending stump, and I'm just going to start mooshing this graphite around. Okay, so under her cheekbones, kind of like around her eyes. Around her eyes here. We'll do like symmetrical shading. Under her nose and between her nose and lip. Again, around her eyes. hairline all the way around. And then we can just moosh in her hair and then moosh. I'm just taking, again, I'm only working with the side of my blending stump, and I'm just sweeping it on the very top part of each whomp that we made. I feel like that needs to be entered into the dictionary as a new word, you know, like whomp, which is a hair chunk, a hair braid chunk. I just feel like that should, I don't know why that's not like a real word. Okay, we have this and we have this. Oh yeah, and her lip. So I'm gonna take Anna's where she makes the top lip shaded. Oh yeah, under the neck, I almost forgot that. Under the neck is always super shady weighty. Okay. She is coming to life before our very eyes. She's got a cool look about her. I like her. And what I really like is her like soft expression. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my Pentel pocket brush pen. My students are laughing at me right now because I am like a one-hit wonder with my Pentel pocket brush pen. But it's magical and it's my everything. I'm not sorry. So what I love about this is that it has bristles. It's not just like most like watercolor markers and brush pens, like here's like an Ecoline, have just like a nib that's brush shape. And what I like about the Pentel pocket brush pen is that it's actually a brush, but there is, I was doing a demo yesterday, there is a little bit of a learning curve to using one. So just go slowly if you're new, because when you press down hard, you get a very thick line. And then when you put a little pressure, you can make like super thin lines. So it takes a little bit getting used to if you are new at it. But yeah, so I'm gonna just outline some things, and then I do want to add some color for her eyes. I think that would look super cool if she had color eyes. So I'm gonna go grab some paint and come back, and then we'll finish her up. I grabbed a tube. I've actually had this tube of paint for so long and I've never even used it. I'm too lazy to even get a palette or anything. I'm going to paint directly on my toned paper. Now, you know, this paper is really only for dry media, but it's such a tiny amount. Like, I don't think that the toned paper police are going to come after me if I decide I want to use just a little whisper of paint. I've never tried this before, so this may be a really good idea, and yeah, maybe not so much, don't really know. I realize now how uneven her eyes are as well. So I will probably bring this eye down lower. Getting eyes even is always a challenge for anyone. You're not alone if you struggle with that. I don't know why that one is so much lighter than this one. Put some more things in there. I'm already excited. All right, and while that's drying, I'm gonna go around. You can use a Posca pen too for this if you want to use like a Posca pen. You can use whatever pen you want, but again, I kind of like this edgy look and this dark outline. I think will be cool. And of course, I didn't put any decor on her. You can always feel free to add all the jewelry and face cool things that are happening in that you see on the reference. I'm sort of leaving out. And as you can see, what I'm not doing is like putting my pen down and like being really solid. I'm making actually really like sketchy lines, which is a sort of a different look. But you can use, Posca pens are awesome. I have some next to me. I think I'm gonna do some more of the eyes just with those. Squiggle, squiggle, straight. Squiggle, squiggle, straight again. And my lines are like straight, straight, straight. Straight, straight, straight. Straight, straight, straight. Like a series of connected straight lines instead of wink curve lines. That makes sense. We can even do those big lashes that we were dreaming of earlier. And I also think I can make these a lot, thicken up this part too. Oh, I didn't even have our lash going in the right direction. Dunk, 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 dunk. Just kind of being purposefully sloppy just for the fun of it. It's like just fun. There's no reason. It's kind of like what if, and doing little experiments like this is a great way to find your style, by the way. It is like taking risks and just being weird and like trying on other people's, you know, styles for size. You know, it's like such a great way to discover things about yourself. So I like to hop around, and I encourage you to do the same in terms of what references you're using, or if you want to switch genres, like, you know, look at like a classical painter instead of like I tend to gravitate towards a lot of digital artists, and like go, you know, switch gears and look at like a Raphaelite artists or something. But it's a great way to kind of try on other people's styles for size and see how they fit. Maybe you're like, that was the worst and stupidest thing I've ever done. And then you don't need to ever do it again. But like, or maybe you will like have the time of your life and be like, oh my God, I never would have discovered that I love blank had I not tried blank. It's so worth it. Now I feel like I want more shading. Her shading is a little sad and light. So I'm just gonna quick kind of draw in some of remember our hair swoops. Just doing them quick with my pocket pen towel. But yeah, I want some more shading, I think. And then she definitely needs some, I'm lost in my word. Oh, she needs her white highlights. This is a black Stabilo Wall. You can use any black. You can use the China marker that we used in the first week. You can use anything you like, really. This is just, usually I would use water with this, and I'm just like not going to use the water with this part. My tip is nice and blunt, which is what I want. If it was really sharp, it would be leaving like lines, and I don't really want to have lines. I just want to have a little bit of shading, so I'm pushing down like really lightly. And then I'm definitely not going to use water because this paper will not handle it at all. So just doing this. You can kind of do her braids. Now, her braids, to be honest, should also have shading going. They should also have shading like top to bottom, but also coming up. And then the only highlight should be in the center of them. But I really don't want to spend, a lot of time just futzing with the braids but you absolutely could. For sure. For sure, for sure. So you could have some like coming up. Does that make sense? So within each schwamp, I'll slow down for a second. I know I'm going a million miles an hour. The top is shaded, the bottom should be shaded, and there should be like a highlight in the middle, like that. So that's really how a braid gets, it's like dimension. So the same thing, you have the top, you have the middle, and you can either leave it the color of the paper again, or you can just put a little highlight in the center and repeat. So again, you can do the shading part with a blending stump or with hatching or with your lines. There's tons of options. But you can even just putting like a little tiny bit of white, and then when you zoom out, it's like all of a sudden, woo, there's this like dimension. It's so magical. That's why I am obsessed with tone paper. It's like takes nothing to get like a really stunning effect. It's so, so fun. Oh, and thank you in lesson 1 for the tips to like tape this string. I still am never like, I never take a break to do anything properly, as you can tell probably, but it is a really good tip. And someone was like, use washi tape. I'm like, I actually wouldn't want to waste my washi tape. I would use just like regular Scotch tape, but it was such a good idea. And yes, you're right. I should be taping that out of my way because it drives me nuts. So I got your message and I took your advice, but I moved too fast to take your advice. But it's really good advice. All right, so where else should we have highlights? Well, she can have some in her hair. We can do individual strands like this, you know, or you could do a patch like that where you do like a swatch. So that's totally up to you. I'm gonna have it. I know, get the just like this coming out of like her center part, okay? And then her nose, absolutely, the ball of her nose, the ball of her chin, 1,000,000%. She can also have like her lip. And again, you can get as subtle or as dramatic as you want. So if you want it really subtle, you can just push down really lightly, and you can just use a regular, like a white color pencil. I'm stuck on these China markers. Some people hate China markers because you can't, I don't sharpen mine. You can sharpen them, I just don't. But you can do really, if you just put a little bit of pressure, you can make a very subtle highlight, or if you push down, you can make a bright one. All right, she's looking good. We can do like her top of her ears can get a little highlight there, right? And then absolutely, we're gonna need to do the weights of her eyes. Now we could get really dramatic and do like white paint pen, but I'm gonna take it slow. I'm just gonna start with the white China marker. But you could totally use a Posca pen or any kind of paint pen here. I actually wish I had even used a little bit less. And then what I will do though is use a paint pen, and I'll show you, we'll do that little detail in 1 second. All right, so we have, I'm switching to, what is this called? A little baby Posca pen. And as you saw last week, when my pen exploded on her face after saying not to depress the thingamajig on her face, and then that's exactly what I did, and it exploded. I'm just treading a little bit more carefully. But whatever you do in one eye, be sure to do in the other. Ooh. And I love that this is like You could do all sorts of ridiculous fun things and eyes. And like the top can be darker. It's just a paint pen that's the similar color as was the paint I was using. And then, you know, you can get as carried away with all of this stuff as you want to. I actually think she needs more black dark areas because my first pencil was so light. So I might come in here and make the shading even a little bit more dramatic. So have fun, do as much of the dramatic shading as you feel comfortable with, as you like. You can be as weird as you want to. So art is such a safe venue for that. And feel free to experiment. But the most fun places, we can also get a little darker under her neck here too. So just so you know, the fun places to add highlights are, like we did, the chin, the ball of the nose, on the bridge, and then whatever you're not highlighting, you really can actually add more shading to. Just, they all kind of help magnify one another. I mean, you can even get like super dark and super dark over here. On the eyes is a fun place. Because the eyes are the windows to the soul. So that's why everyone doesn't drive with, people always do profiles and they're like, oh, my profile is the worst. I'm like, no, your profile is fine. It's just that there's like nothing going on in your profile because there's no eyes to look at. So it falls really flat. So it's not you, it's the profile. That's just like how profiles are. And you can spend all day fine-tuning these braids and really playing up like the dark sections again, which is like coming out of the meeting places should be dark. And so it's like the middle and then the edge, remember? The middle and the ends and then highlighted in the middle. So you could futz with this for literally hours. So I hope you enjoyed this other, oh, we should make like her jewels sparkly on her. Her necklace can be like sparkly. You can do a twinkle in her eye like I did on the first one I showed you. You can do that if you want. That's always fun. Oh, and then other places you can highlight. You can do here, like on their eyelid, and you can also come up here and do these parts. Eyebrow, ridge. Okay, you can go to town. You can also do this part. Her little cheekbone can be highlighted. Guys, you can highlight for days. Okay, the key is to leave some areas without highlights. So the whole concept of tone paper is that the middle tone stays the color of the paper, and then you're only adding darks and lights. But anything mid-tone is already done. So here is our sparkling gorgeous fairy. I hope that you had as much fun as I did, because oh my gosh, that really actually was so fun. We can add like the same color in her necklace maybe. That's like the same color as her eyes. We're kind of repeating the same. Why not? Maybe she's got a little hair tie. It's the same color as her eyes, all sorts of fun things. But oh my gosh, so fun. I hope you enjoyed lesson fairy number 9, and we only have one more to go, and I have absolutely no clue what I'm gonna do. So I will take your suggestions. I just feel like she needs bigger eyelashes, you know what I'm saying? I am all about your suggestions. And there is just, gosh, we're wending our way down. We're about, once after we do 10, we're not doing giveaways for this anymore, but don't forget that in my Facebook group, I do giveaways on the first of every single month, whether you're learning from me on YouTube, through any of my books, of which there are many, or any of my creative art clubs at awesomeartschool.com. So there's so many reasons to have fun, learn something new, and I hope that this week you totally did branch out and try something and learn something new. Thanks for arting with me. Click the playlist here if you want to catch up on all, oh, actually it will be over here. If you want to catch up on all the other, or no, it is here, I don't know, somewhere on your screen, there's a circle. Subscribe there, and then click the playlist here, and then you can watch all of the ones in this series. Oh, I also have a whole playlist for just toned paper drawings, and I will put that in the description box for you too. And don't forget to take the quiz. I'll see you next time.